It's Jerusalem's holiest religious shrine, known to Jews as the Temple Mount and Muslims as the Noble Sanctuary, or El Aksa Mosque Compound. Now, after Israel conquered it in 1967, it has maintained its status quo as a site for Muslim worship, not for Jewish prayer. But that is a status that's been challenged by Jewish activists over the years, especially Yehuda Glick, a former Likud lawmaker whose activities at the site did lead to a terror attack on his life in 2014. Well, today, police say Glick was at it again, moving slowly through the site, ignoring their orders to keep moving, finally arrested by officers, later released after lengthy questioning. Well, Yehuda Glick joins us from Jerusalem. But first, Yehuda, I want to read out the police statement on this incident. Quote, police approached the visitor who did not listen to the police orders and continued with his provocative behavior. Police responded by detaining the visitor and removing him from the scene. He was arrested and handcuffed out of the area and questioned. We emphasize that over the last few months, the same visitor came to visit the Temple Mount and previously had acted in a provocative manner. Yehuda, how do you respond to that? Are you acting in a provocative manner there at that site, despite police orders?
Good evening, Calev, and get used to the fact when the police say a person was behaving provocatively, it usually means they don't have what to say. If they were blaming me for something specific, they would have said, what did I do? What the provocative thing, so-called, that I did on Temple Mount today was walked the way I do every single week for the past 10 months. Every single Tuesday, I go on the Temple Mount, I walk the exact same way I walked today. The policeman who was walking next to me told me, go faster, go faster, go faster. I was going, I didn't say, he said, titkadem, I mean, advance, and that's what I was doing. He felt that I wasn't walking fast enough. I want you to understand, rushing people on Temple Mount happens only if you happen to be a Jew wearing a kippah. The police will never do it to anybody else. There's no reason to do it anywhere else. And the police today had a point of showing and reaching and touching discrimination to its highest level. And I think it's about time the world comes out clearly, just like President Trump did in the Century deal, and say, enough is enough. Temple Mount for all, discrimination out of the game on Temple Mount. I think that should be the quite obvious thing. And unfortunately, today I was a victim of police terror.
Well, one could agree. For example, there could be someone who agrees with you on the larger point that you're trying to make on religious worship on the Temple Mount, but disagree with your tactics. The fact is, police have authority there. If you say you can defy them in this way, why can't Muslims who are accused of provocative behavior at that same site say, well, we also don't have to listen to the police?
No, but that's not what the situation. Today was two congressmen on Temple Mount. I warmly respected the policemen. I warmly received and did everything they had told me to do, even though I don't very much like everything they say, but I do and follow all the orders. But unfortunately, the police on Temple Mount have decided that the Jewish visits, I'm sorry, we're going back to a situation which we saw in 2010, 2011, 2013. The things have changed. The previous chief of staff of Jerusalem Police Department respected the Jews visiting. The new one today, General Doran.
But Yehuda, do you not acknowledge you are there specifically to challenge that status quo on the Temple Mount?
Not at all.
It's not just on thing. You yourself have said you want to see that changed. Is this not part of your strategy to do that?
No, not at all. I wanted things to change on Temple Mount. The place I do it, I promote my agendas on YouTube. I promote my agendas on my personal website, shalomjerusalem.org. I promote my agendas in the Knesset. I promote my agendas in court. Temple Mount is not a place to promote agendas. I go up to the Temple Mount because that's where I get inspiration. That's the holiest place in Jewish religion. I do it respectfully. I do it week after week. I have hundreds of people from around the world who are following me. And I don't do anything provocative. The only provocative people today on Temple Mount were the policemen who decided to push me onto the floor and put handcuffs on me.
Well, the police,
opinion,
I understand that. I understand that. The police have their own version. Let me just ask you, you do mention you were in the company of 2 Republican congressmen. Can you talk about that, how you came with these congressmen onto the Temple Mount?
I, as I said, go up Temple Mount every single Tuesday. I also work as a tour guide. I'm a licensed tour guide by the Israeli government. And very often, when I go up in Temple Mount, I go up with groups and I guide groups. I was approached by these two congressmen who had asked me to accompany them on their visit to Temple Mount. They said they've been to Israel several times. They've never been to the Temple Mount. They heard I guide the people on Temple Mount. And they requested to be guided on Temple Mount. Congressman Jim Jordan and Mike Johnson contacted me. I took them onto Temple Mount. They themselves kept asking me, why are the policemen keep rushing you? What's going on here? They themselves were surprised. They saw it and they said to me, wow, you are so friendly to the policemen, and why are they rushing you?
Right.
They were shocked when they saw the police behaving towards me.
I should point out your actions today did receive support from the Yamina Party of Defense Minister Naftali Bennett, but you yourself are a former lawmaker. I believe you're still on the list of the Likud party headed by Benjamin Netanyahu. Have you heard from the Prime Minister? Have you related? Have you heard from other members of Likud about this incident today from the government?
Of course, I've received a lot of support from several of the government ministers, including the Minister of the Interior Security, Minister Ariel, who's in charge of the police. He was pretty shocked at their behavior. As a matter of fact, I had spoken to him last night, telling him that I'm going up today with the 2 congressmen. He himself had contacted me this morning while I was on the Temple Mount. I told him that so far things are okay. And then a few minutes later, I sent him a WhatsApp telling him that I was arrested. He was shocked. He met with those 2 congressmen today, and he heard the story from them directly. He was shocked at the behavior of the police. But unfortunately, we all know that in the police department in Jerusalem, the chief general, the officer, is stronger than the prime minister. He's stronger than the minister, and he makes his decisions. And his decision has been, ever since he's in office, totally not like the one before him. General Yoram HaKohen and Yoram HaLevi, the previous one, was referring to the visitors of the Jews on Temple Mount in a very friendly attitude.
Right. I just want to ask you now, as I mentioned, you're a former lawmaker, member of parliament. You enjoyed certain legal rights and perhaps a degree of personal security. You're now a private citizen again. I mentioned before, you were the victim of a very serious terror attack by a Palestinian militant. How concerned are you maybe that renewing these activities as a private citizen could put you at some risk?
I really agree with you on that question. Unfortunately, last time, when the police incited against me and called me the most dangerous person in the Middle East and called me a provocative person, this encouraged the Palestinians to try to assassinate me. I really hope we're not going back to that.
I want to be clear. Are you blaming?
I hope the police.
I have to ask you,
learn their lesson.
Are you blaming the Israeli police in part for the terror attack that took place against you by a Palestinian militant?
By all means, they did not send the terrorists, but they created the environment where I was considered a provocative person, a person which is not too bad if he gets killed. Nothing will be bad. He's a nuisance. Let's get rid of him. And the Palestinians understood that message. I strongly hope that the Israeli Jerusalem police will learn their lesson and keep away from this dangerous behavior. I want them to understand that when the whole world today saw pictures of Yehuda Glick with handcuffs lying down on the Temple Mount on the floor, they must have thought, who knows what I did? Maybe I raped somebody. Maybe I robbed somebody. No, I walked too slow. Is that a reason to put handcuffs and push me onto the floor and pull me out of the Temple Mount? What their behavior says, a message to the Muslims: guys, this guy's a troublemaker. Get rid of him. We'll agree with you. We'll back you.
That is a provocative statement.
That is the message there. That is the message the Islamic radicals are getting. I don't think that's what the police want. But that is the message that the Islamic radicals are getting. And I'm warning the police, be careful. It's dangerous. You're playing with fire.
All right. Yehuda Glick, joining us from Jerusalem. Thank you for being on The Rundown.